All right, so here's the deal. Typically, I'm a one tier list per season type of guy, but with 33 heroes launching on season 0, it was the start of the game. Everything was fresh, exciting, and fun. It's safe to say it was a little bit of a hot mess, and I got some things wrong alongside some couple other people, but little did I know 500,000 people would see the last tier list, and so that's a lot of people to give the wrong information to. So we look to correct it today in the final recap of Season 0, a tier list for all the heroes in the game. Now, after going on the journey of solo queuing my way up to Grandmaster, mainly with Loki, and yes, I did lose a piece of my sanity, thank you for asking, and I talked to a lot of the top 100 players in the game, we've cooked up a pretty good tier list for you today, but there's more. We got 2 tier lists today, one for the low elo players, bronze to platinum, and one for the high elo, diamond to 1 above all. And that's because a lot of the heroes dominate at high ranks and they're bad at low, or vice versa. Sometimes they take more skill. It's a number of different things, so I thought this would be best to kind of fit everybody into one group. Let's jump in. All right, so what you're looking at here is the left side is going to be the low elo, the right side is going to be the high elo, and I'm going to stay over here in the corner. We start things, as always, with Adam Warlock. Now, Adam is much better at high elo than low elo. I'm going to give him an A tier for high elo and about a C tier for low elo, and that's because you kind of need to be really good at aiming and cooldown management to be good with this character, and I just did not see that enough in low elo, and it's just much better and safer to play the other supports. In high elo, a good Adam is able to completely carry the game. He has instant heal, soul bounce cracked, his ultimate's good, his damage is lethal if you don't miss. Adam's a good one. All right, King of Wakanda, Black Panther. Easily, there's no hero that I fear more if somebody is one-tricking and mastering a character than this guy. I don't know about you, but I've been in lobbies where this guy, like, insta-locks the Black Panther. He's got the alternate avatar, and I know I've lost at that point, or won if they're on my team. For low elo, I'm going to say a B tier just because it's a bit hard to get used to how he works, but your opponent tends to be more grouped together. And in high elo, it's about as close to S tier as you get. I think he's probably towards the top of A. He almost never gets banned unless you're known for being a one-trick, and so you get to play him a lot. I see him a good amount. Insane carry potential, fantastic hero. Listen, guys, I was wrong about some things in the last tier list, right? But Black Widow was not one of them. F tier in both of them. Don't even have to hesitate. Just not a good one. I've never come across really a cracked game-winning Black Widow. In fact, the best one that I went up against, I'll put some footage up, we won against, even though they were really good. If you put the time that you play this character and put it into anyone else, you're just going to be a lot better. Bruce Banner, we've got the Hulk, and listen, this is probably one of the ones I disrespected the most, and I get it, because you want to know why? He is bad in low elo, he's a D tier, and in high elo, he's an A tier, if not better. His team-up potential is the best in the game with Iron Man. Incredible dive tank, disruption, and a great Hulk. Hogs and I just did a mastery guide. Go check it out. Everything you could ever want to know is in that video. Can almost carry games, just a very good tank across the board. But you have to perfect so many mechanics and skills and knowing when to go in and out and what your job is and mobility. I could keep going on. So he's not good at low tier. There's just much safer vanguards to play. So yeah, I'm putting respect on Hulk. Captain America, Steve Rogers, D tier for both. I just don't think it matters what elo you play him in. He just is lacking kind of everything. His abilities just don't sync up great, and he feels like you're trying really hard to get not as much accomplished as pretty much any other hero, or at least the ones in the Vanguard department. I think he needs some help. I think with a much stronger seasonal bonus towards maybe damage, I don't know. Something's got to change about Cap. He's just awkward. I just have never really seen him in Grandmaster games. Next up, we got Cloak and Dagger, and last time I think I gave them S tier, and that's going to remain for the low elo and high tier, probably A. Right there, they don't get banned or anything like that, but incredible healing, their ultimate's good, their abilities are all extremely strong, and you could switch between them to auto-reload. A good Cloak and Dagger, like the ones with the avatar, as I will quote in this video, I fear, man. I do. In low elo, though, they're probably better, right? You've got the auto-aim and just the way that the battles and maps are being played out. So these rankings feel about right. Doctor Strange, this man actually pretty much carried me through low elo back in the day. I say back in the day, it was like 2 weeks ago. Doctor Strange, I'm going to give S tier in both. Listen, I might be biased. He is one of the few Vanguards, if ever, that do get banned outside of the Hulk, who gets banned for his team up more than anything else. he's good no matter where you play him. The shield protection, the guidance of the group, his AoE stun that's fantastic, good damage output, a great strange no matter high or low elo can carry, and you also have a lot of setup potential. Probably my favorite tank just to play with on a regular basis, and if you're looking to mainstay a tank, this would be the one. I Am Groot is a tough one. You know, listen, guys, there are some heroes that are situationally good in maps and matchups, so it's tough to put these in and kind of pigeonhole them into a certain group. I'm going to go C tier for the high elo, which is, it seems low, but I just don't see him a lot, and people are good at handling him. And then for low elo, though, probably A. I mean, people do not get rid of his walls. His ultimate is probably one of the best ones to set up things in the game, like Moon Knight. Also, like in low elo, I feel like you can just survive forever because people are not the best at aiming. And so high elo, unfortunately, there's just better picks. Okay, so we've got Hawkeye, and probably the most common bans that I see at high elo is Luna, easily, Hela, Hawkeye, and then probably the Hulk for the team-ups, Doctor Strange every now and then. If Hawkeye somehow does not get banned, Psylocke's in there too, it's done. You hope, oh, maybe nobody plays them. They do. You're screwed. It's over. His damage is just too good. It's so good right now, and he doesn't really have the best way to escape, and, you know, he's very aim dependent, and so I'd probably put him in A for the low tier, S, obviously, for the high tier. I think Hawkeye might get some kind of nerf in season 1. We'll have to see. Again, I try to make these tier lists kind of a bell curve, but the great thing about Rivals is kind of everybody in their own sense is OP. All right, we got Hela. I love that these two are together alphabetically. Seasonal bonus obviously makes her the queen of DPS. Got to see what happens once she does lose that. 2-tap, crazy damage. Ultimate to control the map in the game. Good escape. Good at medium range. Long, short, doesn't matter. Like, I decided to pick her up until I got up to Diamond and to have the pick of the bands, and it was just a free ride, man. She is so punishing. It's ridiculous. Hela is always banned at the games that I play high elo, so you don't get to see her much, but in quick play and in low elo, you definitely do. S tier for both, though. Okay, so Iron Fist, and I saw people last tier list kind of upset where Iron Fist went, and listen, you're gonna hate me more. D tier for high, but honestly, maybe A tier for low. This guy is the noob stomper. Like, without anything fancy, his main ability kit is super strong. Problem is that high elo, it's very predictable. You know exactly what it's going to do. He just doesn't seem to A, make an impact, and B, there's like one guy I play with every now and then in matchup that has an Iron Fist, and even that isn't a huge deal. He gives Luna an amazing team up, but Luna's banned a lot in high elo. He just doesn't make that big of an impact. I hope something changes here, but we'll see. Moving on to Iron Man, we probably have the hardest hero to rank, and I'll tell you what. First of all, it feels like he should be an S tier because he does have the most cracked team up in the game. When you pick Hulk, the team up there is so stupid good. His beam just melts everybody, and all of the top players are going to play this hero. And the reason why is he's not banned ever. You have Hulk who's banned in place of him to get rid of the team up, but with Hela and Hawkeye out of high elo, he's just free reign to play. I'm going to give him probably close to S tier. But because he's team-up dependent, probably top of A. Without the team-up, he goes much lower than this. And then in low elo, same thing, probably A tier. There are Hela and Hawkeyes to keep him in check, but it's a lot easier because people aren't as good. Like, man, there's so many Iron Mans that just have free reign on low elo. It's hilarious. Jeff, the baby land shark. I think I put him in A, maybe B last time. We're kind of splitting the difference. High elo, he's going to go down in C, and low elo, he's going to be in A. Mainly because when he ults in low elo, everybody panics and everybody dies and gets thrown off the edge. In high elo, pretty much everyone focuses the Jeff and then you shoot him and he dies. And then I've said this before, but the biggest thing is you're replacing a healing ultimate whenever you do pick him, and so he doesn't heal the team, and that's big at high elo. Like, all of this healing that was happening, like, it's important to get constant heals in this game because of how OP it is. And with Jeff, you lose that during the ultimate, right? So, like, in high elo, I never see him, but in low elo, he's an aqua demon. I hate him. All right, time for the bias pick, guys. We got Loki. And if you don't know, I'm a Loki main. Again, as I said, solo queued all the way to Grandmaster with Loki. I think Loki is probably the most slept on support. And by myself, too. I think I put him in C last time. That guy didn't know what he was talking about. Loki, in my opinion, is probably one of the best heroes to solo queue with. You have so much responsibility behind you, and you're able to have agency on what the team needs. First of all, his ultimate is the best in the game, I think, because you can copy any ultimate in the game, and copying things like Luna ult, Mantis just is so ridiculous. And then if you also need to be able to, copy an offense hero to, get a huge team wipe like Psylocke on supports, Iron Man, you also can do that. So Loki gives you so many tools and situational play. His healing and damage is really good if you play him right. His rune ability is probably the best in the game as well, capable of surviving anything by turning damage into health. Straight up, guys, I think Loki is a cracked hero. I'm going to give him definitely A tier and high with no hesitation. And then B tier and low, because Lokis are played wrong, honestly, in low tier, and people aren't playing it correctly, and it takes some time to get used to them. But if you do, you're rewarded with one of my favorite in the game. Next up, Luna, probably the best healer in the game, and next to Loki, easily the best ult in the game. 12 seconds, you can't get damage, insane, and you get it super fast. She can also, have a good freeze and hold her own. Her damage is not bad, and then her piercing, is it Ice Arts? I forgot what it's called. The ability to, pierce, heal, essentially AoE healing in a straight line is so damn good in this game that you're able to just rocket up the heals on this character. I'm pretty sure one of the main producers of the game loves Luna Stone and helped put her in the game, which could explain why she's cracked. Easy S tier for both. All right, so for Mantis, pretty much same as Luna, but damage. One of the best duelists in the game, capable of just crazy damage. A good Mantis can carry hard. You have your ultimate that's good. Her AoE healing is strong. She's fast, hard to reach. I'm going to say S tier for both easily, but you don't see her banned as much as someone like Luna, and that's because of the team-ups and just the raw healing. But if you want the best of both worlds, it's going to be Mantis. Okay, next up is Magik, and we're going to put Magik in B tier for high elo and for low elo. I think if you're good with Magik and the way that people react to things in low elo, she can carry way more, and in high elo, I don't know. It just seems like she doesn't do as much. Obviously, if you get flanked, it's going to be tough, but Psylocke does that better. And the damage you do is typically not enough to perform against the healing that's done at high elo, and then you get focused and you die. So she's at a weird place. I like her. I want to put her higher. I think her ultimate's pretty damn good, but ultimately B tier for high elo. All right, next up is Magneto, and he's pretty much the same across the board. I would say A tier in both. He's probably the hardest tank to kill. He just has so many abilities to keep himself alive and teammates alive. His ultimate is really good offensively and defensively. He kind of feels lackluster sometimes, but most of the time, he's just a good, solid tank that you're not able to bully as a duelist, and he's the jack of all trades hero. All right, so next up is Moon Knight, and I don't think people play him enough. I don't see him a ton in the higher ranked games, and his hitbox is clunky. His abilities are good, though. His ultimate is not really, unless you pair it with Groot. I'm going to give him a B tier for the high elo and an A tier for low elo to reap the rewards of what he does. You want them to be grouped together, and people are a bit more cautious of that in the higher elo, and so this feels about right. Namor, my slept-on king. I love him. Sue me. I think he's great. Probably going to give him an S tier, to be honest, at least for low elo. High elo, in A tier feels about right. He doesn't do anything wrong. His turrets are good. His damage output is fantastic. It's he's kind of got everything that you want, and when it comes to who's being banned and who you can play and which maps he really elevates on, his ability to deal with all of the flankers that come up out of nowhere, Spider-Man, whatnot, he's huge to shut them down completely. He feels essential on some maps. If Luna's not banned, the turret's disgusting. I love him. And then in low elo, guys, those turrets are just 2 extra people on the team. People are so bad at killing equipment in low elo. If you're looking to get good at a DPS that can kind of be consistent throughout your climb, it's no question Namor. Peni Parker, I feel like I was ahead of the curve saying that she was good before other people. And I think I was right. But I was also wrong. I think in higher elo, she falls off. I want to give her a B, but I think I'm going to give her a C outside of specific matchups and maps and defense points. Obviously, the spider nests are good if you can do it right. But again, everybody's so focused on taking that down. In domination, she's probably a little bit better in just because there's so much going on. And if your team can get to the point first, she's very good. Her CC that she can use every 3 seconds is phenomenal on tanks, especially the Hulk. But I would say, man, in low tier, is she S? Probably not. She's A, though. Top of the list. Very good low tier character. Easily, almost through Diamond, you can play her with success. I don't run into her much anymore, and she doesn't feel like she does all too much in the high ranks, but low ranks, I love her, and she's like good. She's balanced across the board. Psylocke, the purple demon. I think I've grown to love Psylocke more, but also hate her. I hate her. I think I do. Listen, she's probably just as good as some of the best DPS in the game. You know, it's a bit more risk versus reward, and you have to be very confident in your combos, but she's almost always played in the high elo if she's not banned, and she can deal with a lot of different threats. Her burst damage is good. She has great just combos. Her ultimate takes out supports like that. I'm going to say S tier for low and A tier for high. She's almost the best. I would not put her in the tier with these other ones in the high elo, but she's right there, if not like on the line. Punisher, I think Punisher is kind of hard to place. Obviously, I would say he's probably better in low elo, probably B tier and high elo. I feel like there's just a much more to deal with him and focus him. Like a good Punisher left unchecked can punish you. And I might be alone in this, but I kind of feel like his ultimate is not that great. Like you can't CC him, but other than that, just kind of hide and focus him and he's done. He does a lot great. He does a lot not so great, and that's why I kind of have him in the middle of the pack. Rocket Raccoon. There's no bad supports in the game other than him having an ultimate that doesn't heal. That's the worst thing about him. His mobility is insane. His healing is good. His damage is not that great. B tier high, A tier low feels on the mark. Not much to say. The revive is solid and people don't destroy it in the low ranks, and you can hide it a bit better at the high ranks. You can kind of like be on the payload forever if you know what you're doing, and he's tricky to nail down. There's a lot of things I like about Rocket, but there also feels like he's missing that extra wow factor that the other supports have. Scarlet Witch is one of the reasons why I'm glad we're doing two different tier lists, because last time I gave her a very low grade, which does not improve. She's still D tier on the high end, but I'm going to go C, high C, on low tier list. People are just not as good with dealing with what she does, and her ultimate you can get off even more. Her consistent damage, like people just like freak out. They don't know what to do, and then they die in low elo. She's kind of tricky to get to. She can get to any point of the map with ease. You know, good team up, like I said. She falls off later, for sure. Like, I don't think off recent memory or in my entire game log. Let me check. Hold on. Confirmed. I just checked my match history. I didn't see a game that I played against her. I didn't feel like I did. Spider-Man. A lot of people got offended. A lot of people got offended with Spider-Man last time. I think I gave him B tier. And honestly, B tier in the high elo and probably going to stay the same in low. Maybe even lower. Like maybe C tier. I'm going to say B for both. He's not the best flanker. There's others for that job. His mobility is strong, but he's able to be dealt with. Namor, hard counter. A lot of CC hard counter. His ultimate's really good, but also not like game changing. And I know people want him to be ranked higher. I do too. I don't know. I don't see it. Listen, I know who some of the best Spider-Man players are, and if they're not putting them high, I don't know how I can. Okay, so the Squirrel, she's kind of like Scarlet Witch. I'm glad we're doing two, because in low tier, I'm not kidding you, I think she's in B. I think she is one of the better characters. People, man, the nuts. People don't know how to avoid the nuts. Like, if you just play that map where you're escorting the goats, Yigsdale, or I botched that, they lose. Like, she has maps where she carries hard and her damage is so much, but at high elo, she falls off dramatically. The rest of her kit does not hold up, so D tier for high elo, but I like the Squirrel. I had an era where I dabbled. All right, so it took me casting a lot of the pros to realize that Star-Lord, man, the disrespect. I think I put him in C tier. Shame on me. Absolute disrespect. First of all, his team up with Adam Warlock is so good because first it's with Mantis. You get a second life. His ultimate is one of the best clearing in the entire game. He does really solid DPS. I think he's one of the best characters, man. He's up there. He's up there. Towards the top of A in high elo and probably B tier for low elo just because of all the mechanics around him. But it's time to put respect on this guy's name. All right, guys. So last tier list, we had 2,000 comments. And of those 2,000, there's a lot said. I don't think anybody said boo about Storm. Kind of everyone was like, yeah, she does suck. Because she does. I remember playing one Storm game on a stormy winter day, and we like stomped that team. That guy was awful. Storm just is lacking something. She's okay with Thor, but even then, not that great. I just don't. She needs something else. I feel like they need to give her another ability or just check the stats. She seems off. All right, so Thor, listen here. I put him S tier last time, and he felt S tier. But I gotta say, as time moved on, I gotta put him down. I don't know where to put him. Damn, I still think he's good. I'm gonna go with low for A and B for high. Listen, I'm a Thor truther. He's good. The people I play with play Thor. They're good. You don't see him a ton at the very top. I would say Diamond, Grandmaster. He's still kind of everywhere. Now, towards the end here, we got a couple left. Venom is next up on the list, and Venom is going to get a C tier for high elo. Just does not hold the same weight. There are people that can crush with him. I've seen it. Okay. Dominate with this guy. A tier for low elo. People don't know how to handle him in low elo, and his ability to do his job as that dive tank is that much better in low elo. But in higher ranks, it just falls off. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe people that play Venom a ton can. Then again, those people are going to defend it. Like, he does some things well. I think his ultimate is misunderstood, by myself included at one point. So there's that. He can do okay. There are some maps that I do love him on, but ultimately, I think C and A feels about right. Winter Soldier, commonly known as Bucky Barnes. I'm going to give probably... I feel like he's aged worse. You know, like, not in a bad way. I think he's probably B tier for both elos. His kit's good. He has good displacement. I feel like, though, compared to the other DPS, I can't put him much higher than A. Definitely on the high side. And then on B, in the low, people are just not playing him the right way most of the time. And it's just safer to probably play the other ones. Last but not least, guys, we got Wolverine. And if you've seen other tier list videos, mine included, all right, we all put him in the F tier. Every single one of us. And I'm sorry. All I can say is I'm sorry. Mainly to Team Captain is his name, I believe. He's making the circles around the Rivals community. Dude's cracked. He doesn't even get to play Wolverine because he's too good at Wolverine. He has proven that Wolverine is the absolute tank shredder. You can kidnap people and just wreck them. It's happened to me. I'm starting to run into him a lot in Grandmaster. People are getting better and better. Wolverine is insane. Like, straight up really good in this game. He just takes patience, and he takes, honestly, some healing and support synergy to keep an eye on him. I'm going to put him in the top of A, easy, for the high elo, but my point remains, I think he's D tier for low elo. I don't think people know how to play him, and once you do, you're going to be high elo. I guess that's the best way to say it. You really need to dedicate yourself to Wolverine, and not in the same vein as, like, if you dedicate yourself to Magik. Like, his skill ceiling is that much higher once you learn him as a character, and I'm all for it, man. A game where we've got, like, a god tier Wolverine is awesome. All right, guys, so that's going to be it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As always, quick hello to everybody who skipped to the timestamps. What's up? Good to see you. If you're here, you might as well subscribe for the next tier list. But if you enjoyed, awesome. We've got a lot more videos down the line. We just released our first Mastery Hero Guide. A lot went into it with the #1 ranked player for the Hulk, so go check that out and wait for more. Subscribe if you haven't, and until the next one, have a good one, have a great one, and happy rivaling.